Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Balling in the Boot, and this is another playoff bracket breakdown here. Before we go into Division Two select, make sure to go to our website gridironfootballusa.com, where you can catch up on all of the latest news, including Alex's coverage of Southern. If you want to really go through a painful experience and read about the LSU Tigers, go ahead if you want to do that. But we also have some Louisiana high school playoff game recaps, and we also have our All American Gridiron Football Bowl game commits. And you can start ordering tickets on our website at gridironfootballusa.com on that game as Monday, December 30th. So we're putting more and more of these bowl game commits up. Before we break it down, we have breaking news here. As we were shooting the show, we've got word. The question was whether or not U High was going to play in the playoffs. Were they not going to play in the playoffs? Well, we know now U High has been pulled out of the playoffs. So the ruling has been made. So U High is now out of the playoffs, which means Booker T. Washington will have a bye into the quarterfinals. Big news there. So it's now a forfeit. Booker T. Washington will advance to the quarterfinals. I'm going to start with you, Grant, with the news about that. Obviously, your thoughts. I mean, we talked about a lot on your show, Friday Nights in the Bayou, too. Not too shocking of the outcome. We knew that it was going to come down to this way, but now you have the official results and you can move past it.
Don't get caught cheating.
Yeah, that's the rule,
I mean,
kids.
don't get caught
It's cool.
cheating. I know it sounds so simple. I know, like everyone cheats. I mean, in this state. Let's be honest, everyone does. But U High has been getting away with this for quite a while. And there are a lot of teams who are like, okay, like didn't this guy play for this school? So and so. Like it's happened for years. It's just a matter. Like Liberty was really the first one to really kind of stand up to U High. I'm not against U High or any shape or form fashion. I love U High. U High has been great in terms of my coverage and your coverage, Jay. So I'm not trying to single out U High here, but it's really just I think everyone's glad this thing's over with. I think a lot of people are happy with the result of this because the way U High went about it. U High, like it's one thing to appeal. Like everyone's gone through appeal, but like
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of schools in this state that don't have the luxury of having like very successful lawyers in their front pockets or in the back pockets, or really any of their pockets. Really, I mean, the fact that like for example, JFK. JFK doesn't have a Gordon McKernan. They don't have any of those guys. They had to go through appeal, and then when the appeal was denied down, they're like, okay, we're gonna suck it up. We're gonna play some football. Our season's still going on. We can still win the district title. We can still go to the playoffs. We're just gonna play our game, and that's what they did. Because they don't have that luxury to fight like U High does.
Mm-hmm.
So I get U High's perspective of like, okay, Liberty's had this information for a very long time. They're trying to school us over, but this wouldn't have happened if you wouldn't have broken the
Yep.
rules.
Yep. Simple as
So I
that.
mean, that's just my perspective. I mean, look, I have nothing against U High, nothing against Coach Martin, I have nothing against the administration of the school. I definitely have nothing against his players
Yeah.
because really the players,
That's where it
really, to
hurts
be
the
honest with you,
most.
the players that's what the people hurt the most. The people who have
Yeah.
no power whatsoever are the
Yeah.
kids of U High, but then also the kids of Peabody, who were the
Yeah.
24
Yeah,
seed before
Yeah.
U High got let in the playoffs. They're the biggest losers. The
Two
kids are the
teams were
biggest losers in
affected.
all this. It's not the LHSAA. It's not U High. It's not any of the people that are involved in this process. It's the kids, and
Yep.
that's the most disappointing thing about this whole scenario.
Yeah, you really hate it for these U High seniors too. Again,
Yes.
robbing them
yeah,
out of the opportunity. So, really hate it for the kids, and that's the misfortune in it. You have to follow the rules, and this is on the adults. It's firmly on the adults here in this situation. You got to follow the rules, and and U High had a chance to file a conjunction that wasn't filed. So you got to do the rules.
yeah,
You break the rules, you suffer the consequences, and that's what happened. So that's pretty much what we're going to comment on that issue. But now you know either way, you can move forward. We know what the playoffs are like right now, so that's the biggest thing moving forward. And now you have a complete. Now you feel like you have an actual complete bracket to work with now moving forward. But let's go ahead and break down, which, not nothing too much to break down here. Your final scores from the first round. A lot of buys here, by the way. Archbishop Shaw able to get a bye. Ranger with a very impressive victory over Karen Discovery, 60-7. That was a statement there from Ranger. Now, congratulations, you got Archbishop Shaw in the second round. Lake Charles Prep able to get a 42-0 shutout win over McKinley. They will take on John F. Kennedy, who had a bye in the first round of the playoffs. Madison Prep will also have a bye. They'll take on St. Charles Catholic. That should be an intriguing playoff matchup. St. Charles Catholic, they're playing some of their best football, but so is Madison Prep over the last couple of weeks. St. Charles Catholic gets a 33-8 win over Northside. We had some close ones now. Estruma, I mean, they had to sweat that one out to defeat Booker T. Washington of Shreveport. Jacob Colombo does a great job of covering the Estruma Indians. If you want to read more about that game, make sure to go to gridironfootballusa.com. But the Indians able to get a 46-44 win over Booker T. Washington. They will take on Haynes Academy, which will be played on a Thursday night. So that'll be a Thursday night football game to keep your eye on. E.D. White, they have themselves a bye. They'll take on Livingston Collegiate. They got a 19-18 win over Frederick Douglass. A squeaker for Livingston Collegiate to get the upset. Now, congratulations, you got E.D. White, the number 3 overall seed. Archbishop Hannon, how about upsets? Only one win all season long for Archbishop Hannon, and they get win number 2 in the playoffs. They defeat St. Michael at Olympia Stadium, getting the upset 29-20, and now they'll take on the Fighting Alex Allison. So Vanderbilt Catholic will host Archbishop Hannon in the second round. Xavier Ford and the Leesville Wampus Cats got themselves a bye. They'll take on Loyola Prep. They won a high-scoring shootout, 63-44. Great performance by their quarterback, scoring 5 touchdowns in that football game to help lead the way. And then you just saw a big playoff matchup, a first-round matchup that will get you 2 different rounds because of what happened to U High. So Booker T. Washington gets a 56-14 win over Buckeye. With U High being bounced out the playoffs because of the ruling, Booker T. Washington is now in the quarterfinals. So that'll be one less game to talk about in this playoff breakdown. Guys, I guess I will start off with Alex first. I know start with Grant with the U High news. But Alex, is there any game that stood out to you the most in the first round?
Yeah, it was Hannon St. Michael New Archangel, right? Hannon versus St. Michael's. That was a really interesting game to see. Now, in my unbiased opinion, this is where it ends for Hannon. But I think most people are going to expect, and we'll talk about that more later. But this is a team that won one game all season, and now they've won one playoff game. They've matched their win total in the playoffs. They doubled their win total in one playoff game. So that's just a great story, right? This is a team that has actually, and I'll get to that more later. But anyway, Hannon, really good. Not a team that has had a lot of success this season, but getting an upset here in round one, there were a few exciting games, right? You had the there were close games. If you wanted close round one games, this was the bracket to go to, and so that was it was a fun game. It was a fun bracket, and Hannon picks up the upset. And I'll let some other guys talk about some of the others as well.
Daryl, besides that game, was there another game that stood out to you from the first round?
Not really. I mean, that was going to be the game that I would say stood out to me, just simply because, I mean, like we said, one win all season, then you get to the playoffs and you show up and get a win there. So, I mean, I think that's just, like you said, a great story. But I do think it ends this week. But I mean, still kudos to Archbishop Hannon for hanging in there, staying motivated and getting a big win.
All right, what about you, Grant? Anything from the first round that stood out to you?
No, not really. Let's move on to the second round. I think that's kind of what I expected. The first round, I knew was going to be kind of slow, I guess, just because, right? I mean, the select brackets, you're going to get a lot of buys, and then Obviously, some of the games, it's not really interesting games. Nothing will stand out to you. But usually, but in select brackets, the second round games are the ones that are going to stand out because that's where you really get to the meat and potatoes, like we talked about yesterday, Jace.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to. So let's move on to the second round.
Let's
And
go.
they'll probably, it's gonna be interesting because I know now that U-High's out of it. So let's go over it.
Yeah, absolutely, Grant. Let's go and make our picks. So Archbishop Shaw takes on Oranger. They are by far. It was a great win for Oranger. They played some teams close. They played Franklinton close, but it's a different animal here with the way Shaw has been playing. I'm sure we're all in unison with this pick with Shaw.
Yeah.
All right. So we go on to the next game. John F. Kennedy, Lake Charles Prep. Lake Charles Prep's got some athletes on their football team too. Coach Franklin does a great job of coaching that squad. JFK, they're a team as a trendy pick that can compete with Shaw based on their talent. The thing with me with JFK has been themselves really a lot of times.
Yes.
It's themselves getting themselves in their way. So if they can avoid some of these mistakes and some penalties, this could be a dangerous team that can give Shaw a run for its money. But can they avoid those mistakes against Lake Charles Prep?
So I can go ahead and I'll go ahead and start, I guess.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I'll be quick about this. We talked about it last week how the potential JFK Shaw quarterfinal matchup is kind of the turnkey matchup for this bracket. That if JFK can knock them off, suddenly this goes wide open. Because I don't see JFK as a state championship team personally. I don't think they have the consistency to do that every week. But because of that inconsistency, it also means they could just up and lose. It's not like Lake Charles is dead. It's not like they don't have a pulse. If JFK brings their A game, they can beat anyone in this bracket. If JFK brings their C- game, they can lose this game. So it is absolutely possible. I will take them to win, but it is not with an utmost confidence. This is a game they absolutely can lose, and if that happens, but Shaw might sleepwalk to the finals. It might be really, really not close games. So we'll have to see.
All right, Daryl, who you have here?
I'm gonna roll with JFK as well. I haven't seen him, but I've heard good things about him, and I feel like they'll be able to pull it out coming off the bye and get the win.
And Grant, I know you're really high on JFK.
Yeah, I'm really high on JFK. However, this is a tough matchup for them. LCCP has always been a program that's had a lot of really good players. They're going to be very talented. I think this is an even matchup. However, I'm going to pick JFK to win this one to set up a quarterfinal matchup with Archbishop Shaw.
I agree. I think that matchup, we're destined to see that. Darrensburg, their quarterback's a really good athlete. They got some weapons on the outside. Calvin Sparrow's a really good linebacker as well. They got a lot of talent, and I think their talent can carry them. Even though Lake Charles Prep got some talent as well, that should be a really good football game on paper. But I'm gonna go with JFK, and that's just up a really good matchup against Archbishop Shaw. Talk about intriguing matchups. This 5-12 matchup between Mass and Prep, St. Charles Catholic, two state championship programs, that is going to be a really good one to keep an eye out for. Mass and Prep, they're playing their best football. Daryl Felker was at the game when they defeated U-High to win district. And St. Charles Catholic, they're playing their best football as of late, too. They gave up only 26 points to Archbishop Shaw, too, which is one of their lowest scoring out points of the season. So, I'm going to start with you, Grant. 5-12 matchup here. Both teams are getting hot. They're playing their best football right now. St. Charles Catholic has won to 5 straight state championships. Can they start the road from possibly even 6 here?
Yeah, it all starts with this game against Madison Prep. I think Madison Prep is, if I remember correctly, was my pick. Actually, I got to double check that. But I think they were my pick to go to the semifinals to play against Shaw in the semifinals. But this is a very interesting game. However, St. Charles Catholic, they're healthier now. Let me double check that and make sure I'm saying the right thing. But I think St. Charles Catholic is healthier now. They got Skylar Edwards back from injury. I know this is a young team, but all these guys have experiences going to the dome one way or another, whether it's whether they're on the sidelines or actually on the field. But I'm going to have to pick Madison Prep to win this game. I think Madison Prep's playing some really good football right now. However, St. Charles Catholic will make this very interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think both teams are playing their best football as of right now. But I'm going to lean with Madison Prep with the talent advantage. Tylen Johnson, they got some great receivers on the outside. They can run the football too. So this is a very dangerous football team. And I think when they're rolling and they're right, Madison Prep is really tough to beat. That should be a great football game, though, because we know what St. Charles Catholic can do, what Coach Stein has been able to do, coaching this group up. He's one of the best coaches in the state of Louisiana. So he'll have a game plan set together for St. Charles Catholic. But I'm going to roll with the home team. I'm going to roll with Madison Prep because talent-wise, they are one of those teams as well that probably could be the best shot along with JFK to make things interesting with Archbishop Shaw in that top side of the bracket.
Actually, Daryl, you go first. You've actually watched Madison
Prep. Daryl's seen Madison Prep in person. So Daryl, go ahead. You saw them beat you high.
Yeah. And I mean, based off of, it may seem biased, but it's hard for me to go against them when I've seen them take down one of the best teams in this bracket. That's what's happened now. They've been knocked out, right. But I mean, it was a big game, district championship game. So it's not like nothing was on the line. It was a really big game. Both teams came to play, and Madison Prep came out on top. So I mean, it's hard for me to go against them. So I'm gonna roll with Madison Prep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's biased at all. I mean, the point of going to these games is to get a better perspective on future games, so you know about the team. I will go ahead and go against the grain. I'll take St. Charles to win this game. Give me the more experience. Give me the team that has been going to the Dome year in and year out, right? And this is a team that started off with a really rough start, although playing some really good football teams. They've kind of come into form over the course of the season. They lost to Shaw the final week of the year, but that they didn't get destroyed in that game. They held Shaw to 26 points. It's a team that's give me St. Charles to win this game. I mean, not with I actually don't remember who I took to win this game in the preview, honestly. Yeah. But give me St. Charles now. Give me St. Charles to win the game.
All right, Alex going against the grain there. So 3 for Madison Prep, 1 for St. Charles Catholic, but that's a matchup to definitely keep an eye on. Estruma Haynes Academy with Sid Edwards trying to be the mayor of Baton Rouge as well, on double duty with coaching as well. But Estruma, that's back-to-back years and won a playoff game, and Estruma had to squeak by Booker T. Washington. Haynes Academy's been a great story this year. What a job Coach Powell has done. They're undefeated, but they haven't played a really tough schedule. This is actually the toughest opponent they probably played all year long in Estruma. So this is going to be an interesting matchup Thursday, playoff game. A lot of eyes are on this one as well, with this being on Thursday. Grant, I think you are planning on going to that game as well. No, Jacob Colombo will be there to cover it as well. What do you think about this Haynes Academy? Are you buying into this Haynes Academy football team with it being undefeated?
Yeah, I'm buying into it because undefeated. Look, if you finish the season undefeated, you finish the season undefeated, right? This is a Haynes, like I said, on Friday nights in the Bayou. I know their schedule isn't the strongest, but this is a Haynes team that no one expected to go undefeated, right? So they're able to get first round bye. However, Estruma's a very tough team. Estruma's been playing some really good football all year. They have a lot of talent. Kyrie Paul comes to mind. I mean, he's been a phenomenal player for the Indians. I just think Estruma wins this one. Yeah. Just because I think last year, going to the playoffs last year, getting experience that was huge for that program. And so now they want to take it the next step and go to the quarterfinals, where they're going to match up with I think they're going to match up with Madison Prep. That's why I picked. So they're going to have an all Baton Rouge public school quarterfinal there. But I think Haynes Academy make it in. I think this will be an interesting game. I think for a little while, and I think Estruma's just going to pull away at the end. This will be Haynes Academy's biggest test, and I think the fact that you're having your biggest test game in the playoffs is a little bit scary for the Hornets. So I'm going to have to pick Estruma to win this game.
Yeah, I don't think Haynes Academy has faced a player like Kyrie Paul, and they haven't faced athletes like Estruma has. So it's a bad matchup for Haynes Academy, even as at home for Haynes Academy. Sid Edwards is a veteran in this coaching game as well. They're really talented. Jeremiah Coleman as well at the linebacker position. I'm going with Estruma to get the upset. I know they barely squeaked by Booker T. Washington, but I just don't like this matchup for Haynes Academy.
Yeah, I wish we had Jacob here since he's been following and working with them all season. He'd have the most insight. But I mean, just from looking at their schedule, they only lost 3 games. 2 of them were 1-possession games, losing by 7 or 1 point, and the only game that they lost by more was against Plaquemine. So, I mean, it's clear they're a really good team. Haynes is undefeated, but as you guys said, this is the toughest test they've had all season, and I think Struma is going to be able to pull it out.
If you're going against the grain like you've been doing,
you know what? I am going to go against the grain again. This is a Haynes Academy team that's undefeated. This is a Haynes Academy team that has this is the thing that's scary, right? It's a rough matchup. Stroma, those are all true things. We have no idea what Haynes Academy is going to look like in the playoffs. It's a complete mystery box. This is a team that never is here. Players that never are here. Are they going to be completely this is a very high variance game, in my opinion. You could tell me Struma wins this game by 30, and I wouldn't be shocked. You could tell me Haynes wins this game, maybe not by 30, but comfortably, and I wouldn't be shocked because we just have no idea what this game is going to look like. So when you get a game like that, give me the team, give me the undefeated team, give me the team of the. There's an interesting aspect to this that who knows what the future looks like for this Haynes Academy team, for this program. They don't know. It's almost like they don't really know what's the word. Never mind. I'll try out. Haynes is. I'll take Haynes to win the game.
All right. So we got 3 for Struma, 1 for Haynes Academy. Here, are y'all going chalk with the? I'm gonna just ask this question since there's 3 more games. E.D. White, Livingston Collegiate, Hannon, Vanderbilt Catholic, and Leesville, Loyola Prep. Are y'all going chalk here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. What about you, Grant?
E.D. White's going to win this game.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I'm saying, are you going chalk with all 3 games?
Oh, yeah.
One quick thing I will mention with Hannon is that Vanderbilt has actually seen Hannon in the playoffs a lot in their first game. So getting that game as a round 2 matchup, it's been a round 1 matchup a lot in this bracket in the past. Twice of the last 3 years I was in high school at Vanderbilt, they played Hannon in the playoffs, split those 2 games. So it's just interesting, seeing these 2 teams play each other again. But yeah, I don't think it'll be close. I think Vanderbilt will win.
Yep, I think so. I think Hannon's a great story. Again, that playoff win against St. Michael's, that's a great win for them, and have some confidence, maybe going to next season, but they're not beating Vanderbilt Catholic. I mean, E.D. White, it was a good story about Livingston Collegiate. They've had some success as a young program, and they're way ahead of schedule, but they're not at E.D. White's level there. So E.D. White's going to win that football game. And that Leesville Loyola Prep is going to be interesting. And Leesville's got Xavier Ford, Loyola College Prep. Great performance by Bryce Restovich, had 5 touchdowns against Sophie B. Wright. But that should be an interesting game. But
they also gave up 44 points to Sophie B. Wright.
Yeah, and good luck trying to stop Xavier.
How are we come on now? Maybe this is one of those over games where Loyola Prep actually puts up some points, but
they're not keeping up with Xavier Ford. They're not stopping him.
By the way, guess what? I just have a fun fact for you guys. Guess which head coach is a Leesville alum in the state of Louisiana?
Head coach in Leesville is airlines coach, right?
But yep. I just want to put that out there. Yeah,
Scoggin.
Justin Scoggin. He's from Leesville. He's a Leesville guy. And that's where he kind of got to start with the high-powered offense. Really well. They're more. I think Leesville is more of a running attack, but that's where he kind of gets all the high-powered offense from is Leesville.
Yep. Yeah, I remember when he got the job when taking over for Bo Meeks and him coming from Leesville. So, the good connection right there. But that's pretty much where I'm at, and we know what's going on with Booker T. Washington. We'll see you in the quarterfinals, Booker T. So, easy as that. So, guys, that's going to be a Division II select playoff bracket breakdown. For all the other ones, make sure to go to our website at gridironfootballusa.com. For Daryl, for Alex, for Grant, I'm Jason Zern. We'll see you next time on our LHSAA playoff bracket breakdown on Ball in the Boot.